Welcome to day 93 of our BitClout journey. Not really too much news happening on BitClout in the last day. We did have another major celebrity join. That would be Gwyneth Paltrow, and she actually claimed her account last night and has now been verified on BitClout. I think that's good news. I mean, she hasn't posted yet, but at least it's another celebrity that's kind of talking about it and maybe going to bring some of her own fans over onto the platform.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we just had to wait for her to start posting. A lot of these celebrities are kind of claiming their account and not posting. So hopefully she starts posting soon.
Yeah, I guess only time's going to tell as far as that goes. But yeah, so I mean, the price of BitClout has been pretty low. I mean, it's been trading in the 120s for the last few days. And I mean, I feel like it's getting some people down. People were hoping that it would hit the exchange and then it would just skyrocket and, go to 300. That hasn't happened. But I mean, I don't think it's a time to get down. It's just, the price is going to go up as more people join the platform.
Yeah. And I've been discussing this on private Discord that I'm involved with. And Doodles, you all probably know Doodles, he brought this up. And there's actually an issue in that the market's not efficient. And I can explain this in a minute, but at first I want to touch on the fact that when the price drops like this, it's dropped like 30% or something. Everybody's coin price drops 30. And that makes people, that discourages people. I think it gets them a little bit like discouraged in using the platform and putting the time in, I think, which really they shouldn't be looking at it that way. But let me turn to the inefficiencies right now. As you know, blockchain launched last week, and it allows users to buy and sell the Clout coin. Now, the problem is that there's three main markets, two that are really used a lot, and that's blockchain now, and then BitClout.com. The third one is the over-the-counter market, which is basically being done on Discord servers. The problem is that on BitClout.com, you can't sell. You can't sell your BitClout on BitClout.com. You can buy, and it's really easy to buy. There's only a 1% fee. You don't have to go and sign up for another account on blockchain and do KYC and all that stuff. So buyers are all buying, not all, but most people I talk to and that Doodles talks to, and he's talking to a lot of people, are going to be buying on BitClout.com.
Well, I think people who intend to use the BitClout platform are going to buy on BitClout. If you're just speculating about buying and selling cryptos, you're probably going to use blockchain.
Right, but right now the vast majority of buyers, I think, are people utilizing the platform. So you have all the buyers going in onto BitClout.com, not all, but the majority. And then if you want to sell, you can't sell on BitClout.com. So all the sellers are either going to go to BitClout or go to blockchain.com or sell over the counter. Now, most people aren't selling over the counter because that's going to be a lower price because it's riskier. So they're going to blockchain.com to sell. But when there's only mainly sellers on blockchain.com, and that's the price that is being recognized on BitClout.com, and that sale price on BitClout.com reflects blockchain.com, you have an inefficiency. And it's going to skew the price lower and lower and lower because all the people selling are selling on one platform and buying on another platform. Like think of it like this. Think about like if Apple shares were trading at $100 and Apple said, anybody with an iPhone can now buy Apple shares from us directly at whatever the market price is. And we're going to issue new shares from our reserve, from our authorized shares. Now, people with an iPhone, they're all going to just use their iPhone to quickly and easily press a button and buy shares from Apple and get it for whatever the market rate is. But what if there was only one other market to buy and sell, and that was E-Trade? Now, if you wanted to sell your Apple shares, you can only go to E-Trade to sell them. But there's nobody going to be buying them from E-Trade, or there's going to be half as many people buying on E-Trade because most people are buying from their iPhone. So the price on E-Trade is going to plunge, and since Apple would be selling it at the market price on E-Trade, their price is going to plunge as well. So I think that they need to work this out. And I think the best way to do it is get more exchanges on board and slowly stop selling on BitClout.com and make it easy to buy on these other exchanges.
Even if other exchanges are on board and people can still buy on BitClout, I think you're still going to have that problem. I think what has to happen is, instead of BitClout, selling from their own reserves, I think they're going to need to sell from, if they get somebody that wants to buy, they should just constantly be buying from these exchanges. Like maybe, excuse me, maybe in like small groups of like 20 BitClout at a time, so that it kind of affects the trading on blockchain and the supply and demand is there.
Yeah, they should be buying. They should be buying from the open market, and like you said, they don't. The instant someone places an order on BitClout.com, they don't have to say, "Oh, I got to buy this amount on blockchain." They could be buying like blocks of 1,000, and as they need to replenish it, they just buy more. But that will suck the supply up and equalize the market on blockchain if they did that.
Yeah, and maybe they will. Maybe I don't know like how their reserves work, how many reserves they have, and are we certain that they're not doing this?
As far as I can tell, it's coming from the reserves. If this is incorrect, I'd love for Diamond Hands or somebody with the core team to correct this, because I think it is important to know if the blockchain, the BitClout you buy on BitClout.com is actually coming from blockchain, then that throws this theory out the window, and the market is pretty efficient then.
So there was a big seller, right? Am I correct, on blockchain, and that appears to be one of the original investors who sold a large chunk of BitClout?
Yeah, so they sold it. It appears on blockchain. They got in around 30 and sold it between 160 and 180. But something that Doodles actually pointed out in the Discord was that if this seller decided to say, "Hey, I'm going to take all my BitClout and I'm going to sell it over the counter at 160 to 180, which likely he probably would have gotten somewhere around that, then the market would not have likely plunged. And that says everything about how this inefficiency is working right now. Because if there was a market at a higher price, but it plunged the other market because there's not enough demand, because the demand's coming from BitClout.com, then there's an issue.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess time will tell, and we'll see how they respond to this. A lot of people are mad that one of the original investors may be selling some of his BitClout. And I guess there's some reason to be mad about that. But in the end, it was these VCs who actually helped fund the project. And without them, the project wouldn't have been able to get started. Excuse me. But, ultimately, we want the money out of the hands of the VCs, and we want it to be spread out throughout all of BitClout users. The more hands that BitClout gets into, the more decentralized the platform becomes. And, you might say, "Oh, this is hurting the marginalized groups who came on, bought some BitClout, and now their price is falling." But ultimately, I look at this long term, I think, and nobody should have been getting into BitClout in hopes of flipping it, and nobody should have been putting more than they could afford to lose onto the platform. But ultimately, we want BitClout to be sold, because that means it ends up in the hands of these marginalized groups, and they kind of end up controlling it from there on out. So it's going to take time, the full decentralization. I don't know if you can ever say it's going to be full 100% decentralization. I don't even know if any crypto technically is, but as we become more decentralized, I think it's better for BitClout. So that means we need to see these VCs sell some of their BitClout in the long run.
Yeah, and like you said, I've seen a lot of hate towards the whales or the VCs, especially on Clubhouse the last week or so. I can understand people being a little bit upset about them selling, but in the end, like you said, these are the people that actually made this all possible. If the core devs couldn't have sold those initial blocks to VCs, then none of this would have happened. And it's also these VCs who are going to help push this platform forward. I mean, we saw it on CNBC, we saw Sequoia Capital touting it and basically saying it's us, you know, and then saying we when they talk about BitClout.
Yeah, well,
So I mean, that's
without them,
important.
the media attention's not going to be coming because there just isn't, you know, there isn't the money there to pay for the media to cover this, and there's not the big names to go out and like the Chamath Palihapitiya to go out there and, you know, say, hey, listen, this is a new platform. You should check it out and you should just cover it because I think it's the future. You know, if I went out and did that, you know, CNBC is not going to say, oh yeah, that's a great idea, let me cover it. So I think it, you know, there's never a perfect scenario, and there's never going to be, you can't make everybody happy all the time. And I mean, I understand why some people are mad. It makes sense. But at the same time, you know, I don't think we'd be where we are today without all that money that was put in.
Yeah, and I mean, you can say the same thing about any major corporation that has formed, like a Google or a Facebook, or like these corporations wouldn't be where they are today.
Yeah, but I think that's a whole idea. You know, BitClout.
No, but what I'm saying is that no project can succeed unless there's people backing it. And as much as we all dislike Facebook and Twitter and Google, I think that I mean, without these companies, this country and this planet wouldn't be where they're at. So you need VCs to push forward innovation. And I think BitClout's a tremendous example of innovation.
Yeah, I agree. So one other thing I want to touch on is Apple. Apple apparently is not allowing CloutFeed or Flick app to permit for users to give other users diamonds because they're viewing it as tipping. So it kind of sucks because CloutFeed and Flick app have both had to remove diamonds from their apps. You know, I think that's going to hurt a little bit because I think a lot of people use those apps to award diamonds to others. You know,
I'm looking at my phone right now because I have a message to Chris Mattern about his Cloudy app. I just keep talking.
Yeah, so you know, Apple's going to have to change because Twitter's going in the direction of tipping. I don't know how Clubhouse gets away with it because Clubhouse has tipping and Apple hasn't removed them from the App Store, and I don't believe they've made them change anything yet. Maybe they just haven't become aware of it. I don't know, but it's interesting, and it's a little depressing that, you know, I can't give diamonds anymore on CloutFeed because I used to go out there and be like very liberal giving out diamonds, and it's much harder to do on desktop or on the mobile browser.
Yeah, so I found out Chris Mattern said that they're still testing their app, so they still have diamonds in Cloudy app, but and they're also trying to figure out if there's a way around it so that it can help everybody. So hopefully something happens. I actually messaged Diamond Hands this morning and just let him know and I want to see if he had any solution as well. So we'll see.
All right, well, I think that's a good place to leave off day 93 of our BitClout journey, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. We're actually going away to Minnesota on Monday, so we're going to do these videos from our phones. I don't know how that's going to work out, but we're going to try and continue to do these every single day.
We might be swimming in a lake or something, so just be prepared.
All right, see everybody later.